Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. So today I am doing another little oil paint sketch slash art journal entry, whatever you'd like to call it. I think at this point I'm still just going to kind of call it an art journal just because I'm kind of using this sketchbook to really just kind of ease my mind a bit and just kind of express what I'm thinking at the moment, but just not in the way that a traditional art journal is. I did try the traditional art journal at one point where like you use different bits of paper and lots of different materials and things like that, but it was just way too messy and I just really wasn't enjoying it. So I'm really liking using this more as a space to practice with my oil paints. And my thing with oil paints is that I really love using them. They're honestly one of my favorite mediums. I say that for every different medium that I use on my channel. But sometimes with oil, I feel a lot more pressure to make something that's super objective, like a super realistic face or a realistic object. Just because I feel like a lot of oil painters use this medium to do just that. I feel like a lot more abstract work is left for acrylic paint, and I don't know why. I don't know why I have that in my head that I can't use oil paint for more abstract work. But this is just kind of my way of just taking time to play with the paint and practice with it and just really make sure I wasn't putting a ton of pressure on myself to create this perfect masterpiece. I really just want to keep in mind that this little sketchbook is just a place for me to play around and experiment, and if I make a mistake, I mean, that's okay. Again, this isn't meant to be a masterpiece or something that's going to hang in a museum or something like that. But I do kind of want these sketch pages to serve more as inspiration for future projects. With this particular project, or this particular journal entry, I guess I should say, I've just been seeing these swirled lines in my head for the past couple days. And they just really just kind of made me feel really just relaxed and just kind of chill a bit, and which is something that I really need because I'm actually going to be moving out of my parents' house in a couple of weeks, which is incredibly exciting, but at the same time it's been a bit hectic, it's been a bit stressful, just buying things and scheduling things, and it's a life-changing decision, quite honestly, and it comes with a lot of these stresses, and so I'm just trying to utilize my sketchbook and utilize my creativity as a way to just kind of help calm my anxieties a bit and just kind of put myself at ease. And I just feel like this color scheme is very relaxing for me too, like this really like tropical, cool kind of tones. I just feel really at ease when I see those kinds of colors. And yeah, this was just a really kind of chill little experiment for me. So I was really pleased with how this little piece was starting to come together, so I just decided to try to, finalize it a little bit. I was really liking all of the white and all of like the negative space, but I really just felt like the negative space needed to contrast a bit more, so I decided to use a bit of gesso to block out the rest of the background down at the bottom. And I use gesso because sometimes with black acrylic paint, or at least the black acrylic paint that I have, it can be very thin. You have to apply a bunch of layers to get the desired effect. And I just use gesso just because it's very matte, it's very translucent, and will cover my surface for me very, very quickly. Okay, so here I was trying to make this a bit more of like a Van Gogh kind of look, where it was just like little stripes of colors kind of coming together to form these shapes. I really wish that I just kind of left it as it was and not push it any further, but I was just kind of in a mood to just, keep playing around and experimenting with things. And I'm not gonna lie, once I started realizing that this really wasn't working out the way I wanted it to, it just made me feel just really anxious and just like, oh, I ruined a perfectly good piece, like what am I doing? But then, again, I just had to remind myself that this is a space to make these mistakes. It's a space to again, just play around and experiment and just kind of see what comes of it. So I decided right then that I wasn't going to let my anxieties get to me, and that I was just going to try my best to make it work. So I tried incorporating a little bit more white in there to see if that would help, and it kind of made things a little bit worse. So eventually I did come up with a solution to completely paint over those petals that I didn't like. And at first I was kind of, I don't know, I really didn't know how I felt about it. I really didn't like it at first, but the more that I looked at it afterwards, it just really made it all come together. And honestly, this just reminds me of the wise words of Bob Ross, where you don't make mistakes, you make happy accidents. And in this case, I feel like had I not tried to push this painting a little further and just decided to just be done with it, I wouldn't have been forced to find a solution to the problem, and therefore I really wouldn't have learned anything from this piece. I'm trying to kind of explain myself in a way that makes sense, but just with trying something that wasn't working and being able to find a solution that I was happy with, it was just a really good feeling. I could still look at this piece and say that I really liked it and I really enjoyed making it, and it looks good, and you know, that's all I could really ask for. So at this point, once again, I was still trying to continue to push this painting a bit more, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to just add some plain white petals, I guess, like to really stand out against this black color. But when I tried doing them, I really didn't like how they were turning out. But it's funny, like looking back at the footage now, I actually really like it, and I really wish I hadn't covered it up. But it's like at the time, it was like, again, I just kind of panicked, and I was like, I really don't think this looks good, and I just need to cover it up. But you know, just looking at it now, I actually really kind of like those three little white petals that are just hanging off from there. But I guess, you know, it's a little too late now to go back on that. But it's just kind of funny just when you look back on footage like this, just kind of being like, oh, maybe that wasn't a mistake. Maybe that actually looked kind of cool. But I mean, that's okay. Again, this is a place to experiment and have fun. So that is it for this art journaling video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel for more fun new art videos, and I'll be putting them out as much as I can. So I'll see you guys next time.